In a dramatic scene at the 2025 Hungarian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen sent shockwaves through the paddock with a bold move on Lewis Hamilton. The Red Bull driver lunged deep on Hamilton's inside at turn 4, nearly pushing the Ferrari off the track. The drivers drove on, but what came afterward? An investigation, a verdict, and a decision so unexpected, so controversial, that fans were left stunned. But what the FIA said next? You won't believe it. By lap 30, Verstappen and Hamilton, normally battling at the front, were fighting down in the midfield. Verstappen, on fresher tires, made his move on Hamilton into the fast turn 4. His Red Bull darted inside as Hamilton tried to defend. The Mercedes-powered Ferrari was squeezed toward the runoff, ultimately spinning briefly across the gravel. Both cars missed each other by mere inches, and Hamilton was forced wide into the runoff area. Race control immediately recorded the clash and announced an investigation would follow. A Mercedes engineer even radioed in concern, but neither car suffered damage. At first, it looked like a daring overtake that got away with no harm done. However, given the driver's superstar status, stewards opted to wait until after the race to review all evidence. After the race, stewards summoned team representatives to the hearing. Verstappen, Hamilton, and the teams had to present their accounts of the move. Crucially, Hamilton waived his right to attend the session, meaning only Verstappen and the team reps gave testimony. The hearing focused on whether Verstappen had unfairly forced Hamilton off track. During the hearing, Red Bull pointed out that Verstappen had built a significant run of momentum on Hamilton coming out of turn 3. With fresher hard tires, Verstappen claimed he was fully in control as he tucked inside to turn 4. In fact, Verstappen said he could have left even more room on exit, but only used the full track once he saw Hamilton was already off. Importantly, Ferrari's representative agreed there was no collision. He confirmed Hamilton chose not to attempt to remain on track. In other words, the team acknowledged Hamilton had bailed out of the corner. The steward's written decision distilled the evidence. Verstappen's account: he had strong momentum into turn 4 and stayed in control throughout. Ferrari's account: Hamilton took evasive action, there was no contact between both cars, and Hamilton chose not to attempt to remain on track. Final ruling: taking all this into account, the stewards determined that there was no contact and that the incident does not qualify as forcing another car off track. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. In short, the stewards found Verstappen's move legal under the rules. They explicitly decided there was no contact and thus no forced off-track incident. With that, Verstappen faced no penalties and kept his race position. The FIA statement confirmed Verstappen would face no further action as the maneuver wasn't deemed illegal. Max Verstappen himself was bewildered by the very fact of being investigated. He downplayed the incident. The thing is that nothing happened. We didn't even touch. He admitted that if Hamilton truly felt aggrieved, the Brit would have shown up at the hearing. I don't think Lewis actually felt a lot for it, because if he really felt something, then of course he's there in the steward's room, Verstappen quipped. In essence, Verstappen argued that since Hamilton didn't defend the case, he clearly wasn't upset by the move. Lewis Hamilton, for his part, was non-committal after the race. When asked about the incident, he said he didn't really remember it. Hamilton had already been frustrated with his weekend, calling himself useless after a dismal qualifying. His focus was on his car's underperformance, not the turn 4 incident. Behind the scenes, Red Bull's social media embraced the moment. During the live race updates, the team cheekily announced, "Lap 30, Max scares Lewis off the road at turn 4 and is up to P11, complete with an applause emoji." Even former F1 strategist Bernie Collins found humor, noting it was a rare sight to see a face towel thrown out of a cockpit, referring to an earlier practice rag incident. Fans and pundits quickly seized on the outcome. Many found the steward's decision astounding given how it looked on replay, dubbing the verdict a bombshell. Social media was abuzz, with some even calling it insane that no penalty was given. Whatever one's view, the official finding was unequivocal. Verstappen was in the clear. Verstappen himself? He was surprised there was even an investigation. The thing is, nothing happened, he said after the race. We didn't even touch, so I don't really understand why we had an investigation. He even threw subtle shade at Hamilton. If Lewis really felt something was wrong, he would have come to the stewards, but he didn't. It was classic Max, confident, dismissive, and unapologetic. Hamilton, for his part, was less vocal. When asked, he simply said, "I don't even remember the incident." That in itself became a story. Some said it was a power move, refusing to dignify the controversy. Others believed Hamilton was more frustrated with his overall pace that weekend to care. With the Verstappen-Hamilton drama resolved, the spotlight returned to the race results. It turned out to be a great day for McLaren. Lando Norris held off teammate Oscar Piastri to claim a popular victory. George Russell grabbed third from Charles Leclerc in the closing laps, as Leclerc's late push earned him a 5-second penalty. Max Verstappen ultimately finished ninth for Red Bull, a modest result reflecting his tough weekend. Interestingly, he was beaten by Red Bull's junior team driver, Liam Lawson, P8. Lewis Hamilton finished 12th, matching his grid spot, well adrift of the leaders. Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso took a solid 5th, with Lance Stroll 7th and rookie Gabriel Bortoleto 6th. In the driver's standings, Verstappen's qualifying struggles were exposed. He remains a distant 97 points behind leader Oscar Piastri. This race did little to help his title bid. By contrast, the top teams, McLaren and Mercedes, scored big. In the end, the FIA's handling of the Verstappen-Hamilton clash dominated discussions after the Hungarian GP. The steward's official message was clear and simple: no contact and no further action. That ruling, particularly after such a visual incident, was a true bombshell. Whether fair or not, it means Verstappen escaped punishment, and Hamilton's replay woes will remain an unresolved footnote. Both world champions must now move on. Verstappen noted that both he and Hamilton had not the best of weekends and needed to focus on performance. The FIA's decision itself may be debated, but it stands as a reminder of how high the stakes are when these two meet on track. As Formula One heads next to the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, the rivalry between Verstappen and Hamilton will continue under a very intense spotlight. One thing is certain: the no-action verdict will be remembered as the bombshell twist of Hungary 2025.